Hey, what's up, YouTubers? Matt here at More Project, and I found the perfect gift for you this holiday season. It's the new Max Peating Rods Turbo. So, Max Peating Rods just hooked me up with this sweet turbocharger, and I'm here to tell you all about it, give you an idea of what it is and what we're going to put it on, and why you should buy one of these. So, this is Max Peating Rods brand new turbocharger they came out with. This is a universal turbocharger. Now, if you've been living under a rock your entire life and have no idea what a turbocharger is, then I will explain everything to you. Basically, you put a turbo on a car. What it does is it takes your exhaust gases, it spins a turbine wheel, which in turn turns this compressor wheel, sucks air into here, spools around, goes out of here, and then it goes through an intercooler back into your intake. It has more air into your engine, which more air means more fuel, which means more power. To get one of these, go to maxpeatingrods.com and use my discount code in the description below. It's more US, and that will get you a nice discount, which helps you and me to continue to make these videos. This is probably the perfect starter or budget turbo you can do. You know, if you're trying to build a car, you know, for a low budget, this is your first time making a build, you just want to do something cool. You can get these for a little over $100 on their website, and they have all different kinds, different sizes for your application, depending on if you have a 4-cylinder car, or if you have like a V8 engine and you're wanting to go larger, you know, you want to double the power on your cars. This turbo in specific is a AR57 or a 57 trim. It's perfect for 1.5 liter all the way up to 2.6 liter engines. So basically a smaller 4-cylinder engine. Make sure you already have your engine can handle something like this. So basically I'm using a 1.5 liter Honda engine with a VTEC head. I got ARP head studs and a Gates Racing timing belt on it, so it should be able to handle more power than the factory engine will. Now, my engine with the factory rods that are in it can only hold to about 200 horsepower, but this is capable of putting out closer to 400 horsepower at its highest level. So I have a wastegate that is set for 5.5 pounds. I'm trying not to blow up the motor immediately, and I might actually go to the maxpeatingrods.com and go get me a set of rods that they make for my 1.5 liter so that it can handle the horsepower that this nice beefy turbo can produce. So now, like I said, this is a 57 trim turbo. It's a T3 T4. Now, what does that mean? Well, the smaller trim number will effectively funnel exhaust gases tighter and faster through the turbine wheel, which allows the compressor wheel to spin faster and generate more low-end power, which is great for small displacement engines at lower RPMs. Now, conversely, a larger trim, so say a 60, let's just look over here at this other turbo I have. This is a 63 trim. So say a 63 trim turbo or larger is better for higher RPMs on a larger displacement engine. So it's got an AR57. The AR basically just stands for area divided by radius ratio. Basically, whenever you hear of a T3 T4 turbo, what the T3 T4 stands for is the size of the frames. So the T3 is this exhaust housing size, and this is a T4 frame for the compressor side. So the T3 smaller housing retains responsiveness of a small turbo, so it can spool faster. And the compressor housing is a little bit bigger, which allows it to flow more air without the traditional lag that you have from larger turbos. Now, this thing is a T3 standard 5-volt pattern, which is very common on a lot of turbos that you have from factory, and some of the aftermarket ones like from some other brands. Also, if you look right here, this will bolt up to a 4-bolt flange for most of your aftermarket turbo manifolds. So it makes this very universal to put on most vehicles. Where it says the 57 trim, whenever you hear stuff like that, simply put, it's an expression between the inducer and the exducer size of the compressor wheel. So the wheel that you see, this gold-plated wheel on the inside, that is your inducer. Your exducer is behind this. If I were to take this off, I'll show you what it looks like. And that'll be your exducer, which is actually larger. But now, this size of this inducer right here, like when a lot of people ask, hey man, what size turbo you running, bro? And you're like, well, I don't know. It's whatever size diameter in millimeters is the turbo's compressor inducer. So this one right here is at a 52.7 millimeter. So I would just say you're basically running a 53 millimeter turbo. You have two hookups. So basically you have a feed and a drain for your oil. So this is a oil cooled turbo. Now some of them you'll see it has 4 fittings on it, and that'll be oil and water cooled, so you can hook up coolant to it and it's actually cooled both ways while being lubricated and cooled. So this one is only oil cooled, so you'll hook up a feed line, it'll put oil in here, keep this thing completely lubricated, and it'll make sure it drains back down into your oil pan. And one big note, whenever you buy one of these aftermarket turbochargers, make sure you prime your oil and make sure before you crank up your motor that this thing has oil in it. You basically take out the your fuse for your ECU, turn over the motor until it builds up oil pressure, and then put your fuse back in there. And then when you crank it up, do not rev the motor up, just let it sit at idle for about 5 minutes so it can prime. All right, so I have an older version of one of their turbos, which is very, very similar to the one that they have now. Basically, the main difference is this one says max heating rods on the housing, where this one did not. This one has the gold-plated inducer compressor wheel. And then now this I drilled and tapped a fitting so I can add my my vacuum line to it. Now it's got spots for you to be able to put them on if you want to, but they don't come with it from factory. So that's something that you would have to probably do on your own if that's what you're wanting for your application. Now it's not always needed. So, I mean, there's other ways you can tap into the vacuum line, like putting a fitting on your silicone hose that goes onto here. Now, one of the biggest differences is the material of the impeller on the turbine housing is upgraded. And so the durability of this will be longer lasting, and it also can withstand higher heats. This is made right here on this exhaust side of a silicone I guess you call it molybdenum alloy, and it can withstand temperatures up to 850 degrees Celsius. Now this turbine wheel right here is made of a special alloy. It's called a K419 alloy. Which it's a great material for high oxidation resistance, so this thing won't get rusty. It can also handle up to about 1,000 degrees Celsius. The compressor housing is aluminum, and the compressor wheel is also a cast aluminum, which is great for corrosion resistance. It's lightweight, so it reduces noise and increased response without compromising any comfort or longevity. So basically the spool time is short, and the linearity of how quickly this thing stays in boost will be great. This turbo also has floating bearings, so it's great for performance and longevity. This is their cheaper model that they have. This one's the upgraded model. This one can handle more heat and is a little bit more durable, but either way will be perfect for a budget build. This one is roughly $123, I think, and this one's closer to the $200 range. But now make sure you use your discount code in the description, and that'll save you a nice chunk of change. So I hope you love this turbo. And if you decide that you want to get one, make sure you please check out their website for any of their performance products. And stay tuned to my channel to subscribe, because you'll see this being installed very soon on my little Civic, and you'll see the full build process along the way. So it'll be a lot of fun. So definitely stay tuned, check this out, and I'll see you all in the next video. Merry Christmas, guys.